Now, think about this. The players in the old days, like Dr. J and the Iceman Griffin, now think if they grew up knowing the things that we know now. What they grew up was seeing Michael Jordan and themselves and how the game was developed and all of the benefits of today's game, like the travel and the rest. The game has really evolved. Back then, those guys were making it up as it went, but they wasn't. It wasn't a true sport then. Those guys were making the sport, and they were spectacular, giving us the guys today. But if those guys were in today's world, how good do you really think they would be? Because you've seen the Dr. J highlights. Now, think about if you had all the modern day accomplishments and strength training and modern day wheel and health and all the things that you have in the modern day. Because back in his day, they didn't have proper shoes. But today they got everything they need, and they practice regularly. They have airplanes and no bus rides. The schedule is for the players. Everything's for the players. Back in the day, it was you had to do what you had to do. But nowadays, it's scheduled for you. So if that day was good back then, how good would it be now? Because you can see that the physical talents of this man was amazing. It was amazing. So think about the players back then. Will Chamberlain, think about him. He didn't rest. He played 48 minutes, no rest. He averaged for a season 48.5 minutes, and he played more than 70 games. That's ridiculous. If he was in today's game where he can rest and all the things that we have, how good would he have been? How good would he have been? Because you can look at his stats, and man, you can see this guy was turning it up. He was turning it up. So when I look back at the older players, I take into account well if they knew what we knew, because they didn't. They was making that stuff up, so we wouldn't know what we know. What if these guys knew what was done before? What they knew? How good would these guys be? Because Dr. J is the reason Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. But Dr. J didn't have nobody that he really had the blueprint to be. So if a person was like Dr. J and say Michael Jordan, how good would that guy be? Because you never know. Would Michael Jordan have been as good as he was if he hadn't seen Dr. J? And would Dr. J be better than Michael Jordan? You never know. So I always take that into account when I compare players. Because if you compare them as their eras, they may not be as good as they were. Because you would say Jordan better than Dr. J. But if he lived in these times and had all the good taken memories and taken care of, how good would Dr. J be? Who knows? I know he would be better, but how much better? So take that into accountability and know that players back in the day, they had rough bus rides, they had no rest, and there was racism. Don't forget about that. There were a lot of racism. So they couldn't get things that they can get nowadays. Some problems they had back in the day wouldn't be a problem nowadays. So just ask yourself and really look into the players back in the day and learn about the conditions that they played the game in. They didn't have regular shoes. They didn't have a place to work out. The courts and everything were not as good as they are today. I mean, things were not good, but they played and made history.